somebody that you have to put in there. I'd probably put him ahead of Deontay Wilder, but that's just me.
Do you take some of the, not responsibility, but helping of making the Triple G and Canelo when you put Oscar on the spot on your show?
Well, he says it did. You know, the way I look at it, listen, I don't answer to any promoter. I don't answer to any fighter, to any basketball player, football player, league official, whatever the case may be. The public is who I answer to. My job is to go on TV and to do what I do, to get as close to the truth as possible, to speak truth with power as best as I possibly can, and to hold folks accountable. That's my job, you know, and I'm never going to fail to do that. So if Oscar De La Hoya or anybody else tried to avoid making the fight, I was going to be all over them. I made it very, very clear to Oscar De La Hoya, when's this fight happening? It better be in 2017. If it ain't in 2017, I'm going to be all over you. And he looked me in my face on national TV and promised, this fight will get done. It will happen in 2017. And he delivered. I got nothing but respect for that. That's what I want to see. Because that's the part I love about the UFC's existence. I think the UFC has contributed to pressurizing boxing to give you fights when you want to see them as opposed to delaying it for 4 and 5 years. I think when you have a guy like Dana White who's quick to sit up there and say, excuse me, this guy, the fans want to see this guy against this guy. That's the fight that we're going to give them. You don't get to wait. I love that. That's very, very important because you're not taking the fans for granted, and that's how you get paid, because the fans patronize your product. You should never take them for granted. You should always try to deliver what they want. I know I try to do it every day I go on the air, and I think that anybody, whether it's an athlete, an executive, a promoter, whomever, they should all do the same.
What do you think Canelo versus Triple G?
Triple G. Late TKO. I just think he's the bigger, stronger fighter. I think he's the bigger, stronger fighter, and because he's the bigger, stronger fighter, that's who I'm going to go with.
What are your thoughts on Oscar De La Hoya taking onto his Twitter saying F Mayweather versus McGregor?
I don't necessarily like it. Thanks, Joe. I don't necessarily like it, but I appreciate where he's coming from. When I interviewed Mayweather, I asked him, you are 49-0, universally recognized as one of the greatest in the world. I understand the money. I get all of that. But shoving that aside, you feel nothing about the fact that somebody who's never fought professionally as a fighter, as a boxer, gets to step in the ring with you? He had no problem with it, of course, because of the money, and that's what he's focused on. My position is clear. I don't get to step on the court and say, let's go LeBron James. Neither do you or anybody else. We don't get to step on a football field and say, all right, we're going to go against Tom Brady. We don't get to do that. And so I just think it's important to recognize that when you're elite at what you do, it is very, very important that people work their way through a process before they're allowed to get at you. But it's $300 million on the table, you know, potentially. So how am I going to knock them for that?
Can't argue with that.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
All right.